Hi, I'm David Adams. I'm the instructor for the project management course, and we are now going to proceed with the additional project activities. We completed the initiation of the project through the project charter and started working on the breakdown of the project tasks through a work breakdown structure. We listed those in a project task worksheet and translated those into a project schedule using the Gantt chart software. We're going to work on 5 different areas, and we're going to start with communications. Come with me as we learn how to put a communications plan together. With our lecture today, we'll look at adding a communication plan. We'll first review how to plan the project phase, and then the communication plan itself, specifically the communication grid and the standing agenda, and we'll look at it in the case study example. And of course, we'll end with best practices. As stated before, plan the project phase usually takes over 90% of a project manager's activities. In Unit 6, we'll be concentrating on the communication plan. We know the key to successful project management lies with a good communications between the project manager and the stakeholders. A communication plan is a policy-driven approach to providing stakeholders with information. It sounds rather simple, but some communication plans are rather lengthy and are very detailed in what exactly has to be done. For our purposes for this course, we're going to take out 2 components that are most important. One is a communication grid, and the other is a standing agenda. Both of these are located in the D2L supporting materials section. What you can see here on this slide is a communications grid, something I developed over 30 years that's typical for many projects. And what's great about it, once you have this robust template, and depending on the project, you can edit, modify, take out whatever is required that makes sense for the project you're working on. So as a project team, you can determine which type and format is the best for the communications. And be sure to get blessing from your project stakeholders and your project sponsor. They all understand and agree upon the communications they'll get during the project execution. A template is provided for future projects in the D2L site. For the bulk delivery app project, I took the standard communications grid and eliminated 5 types of different communication. And I changed the frequency of the ongoing status update from weekly to monthly. It has been my experience that your stakeholders will much appreciate publicizing what the communications grid will be so they understand exactly the information that will be passed. And if they have changes, that's something very easy a project manager can do. The other part of the secret sauce for communications is have a standing agenda, especially when you're doing project updates. You'll make sure you'll cover all the items necessary that are important to discuss for each ongoing status update. And topics should include issue resolution, scope, time, cost, quality, and communications. Again, there's a template located in D2L for you to use for future projects. If you zero in on the standing agenda specific questions, you can see there's a lot of detail that you're asking. And I can tell you from experience, covering all these for every meeting really will help understand what the status of the project is. I will now briefly review each of these sections. When you hold your periodic project review meetings, it's best to start with issues and issue resolution. Look to see if there's any safety, quality, or environmental issues. What needs to be done? How can they be rectified? Are there any additional risks? And what actions are required? Your team members and your stakeholders who attend these meetings need to be prepared, so answering these becomes a quick activity. The second area you need to cover during a project review meeting is scope. Have there been any discoveries of extra work and/or materials that's required? Do you need a scope change? What needs to be done to resolve the extra work that may need to be done? The third area you need to address during your project review meetings is time. What are the status of the work activities? Are you on schedule? Are there any interruptions that are seen? And what needs to be done to keep the project on schedule? The fourth area to review during a project review meeting is cost. Are there any known costs that go beyond the budget? What needs to be done? Are there things we can do to keep things in check? And what's acceptable? And are there any additional actions required for cost overrun? The fifth area to address during a project review meeting is quality. The inspection of the work, is it up to the standards? Is it up to the specifications? Who has done the performance testing? Are there any additional things they need to do? And if things are not within the quality requirements, what action is required? The sixth area you need to cover during a project review meeting is communications and the project in general. What is the status of reports and meetings? Are all the stakeholders getting their proper information? Is a project near the end? Is a closeout report getting prepared? Are there any requirements? And when is the next scheduled meeting? Understand that the success of a project manager lies in the communication. You can see from best practices a well-documented communication plan will help you be successful. Put together a communication grid for the stakeholders. Get their blessing. Use that standing agenda for your periodic update meetings. Follow through with documentation and communication. Make sure all is in need and everyone understands exactly what's going on. And we will learn in a later unit, another best practice is to incorporate your project update meetings into your Gantt chart. Until next time.